2022 Paper 2 GCE Question 5 on Section A. Define each of the following terms: gene, genotype. A gene can be defined as a basic physical and functional unit of heredity or of inheritance. In some books, they usually define a gene as a portion or segment of DNA controlling one particular characteristic. But if you look at the marks, a gene is having one mark, genotype one mark, making 2 marks for both. I think you can just say this is all refers to the basic physical or refers to the basic and functional unit of inheritance. Even if you say it is a segment or portion of DNA controlling one particular characteristic, you will be given a mark. Genotype is simply a composition of genes, combination of alleles an organism has for a given characteristic. Or you can say this is the genetic composition of an organism. The genetic makeup of an organism is what we call genotype. So we can say genotype is simply genotype is the genetic constitution of an organism. Or you can say genetic makeup of an organism. Or you can say genotype is the combination of alleles for an organism for a given characteristic. Otherwise, this is how best you can define genotype. The other one which usually moves with a genotype is phenotype, though it wasn't asked on this question. Phenotype is simply the physical appearance of an organism or the outward expression of genotype. We can move on to B. In a family of rats, the recessive allele D causes stunted growth if it occurs in a homozygous animal. Use a genetic diagram to predict the offspring produced if 2 heterozygous rats were mated. For biology, under genetics, we are supposed to understand certain terms, certain words. They are what we call genetical terms. When I say homozygous, I mean the genotype is having a complete pair of either dominant genes or recessive genes. This is what we call homozygous or purebreds. But when I say heterozygous, I mean we have a combination of a dominant gene and a recessive gene. Dominant allele and a recessive one. Dominant is the one which overshadows the recessive one. Then recessive is the one which is overshadowed when the dominant gene is present. So if you look at the given question, they are emphasizing to say this recessive causes stunted growth if it occurs in homozygous animal. Homozygous meaning having the same allele. So what do? We are using a genetic diagram to predict the offspring produced if two heterozygous rats were mated. Meaning for heterozygous, we are going to use a combination of capital letter D for dominant, then this one for recessive, and another one. So when coming up with a genetic diagram, remember that you are supposed to start with the physical appearance of the parents, which we call parental phenotype. So parental phenotype, first you indicate parental phenotype, the physical appearance of parents in relation to growth. So we are saying here we are going to have the male parent and this side the female parent. We are saying normal, but it was heterozygous. We are saying the female parent was also normal. So the parental phenotype is that they were both normal for the characteristic, but it was heterozygous. So parental genotype is what will show us the heterozygous. So parental genotype. Remember that we are just from defining genotype as the genetic makeup of an organism, genetic composition, genetic constitution of an organism. So here we said heterozygous, meaning we have the dominant one and the recessive one. Dominant one and the recessive. And this is where we have cell division. So out of cell division, remember that this is where we have what we call meiosis. Meiosis. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this one. I think you can help me. This is where 4 daughter cells are formed from the parents. So the gametes will now split. We have D and D splitting. Here we are going to have now 4 daughter cells. If you want, you can even circle them. Circle them if you want. I'm saying if you want. There is no So what we have is what we call gametes. Remember, the word gamete means sex cell. After this, you know what sex cells do? They have to fuse. So here we are going to have what we call random fertilization. Random fertilization. Random fertilization. Random fertilization. We are crossing now. We are crossing this one with that mudala there. Yes. Then we cross the same one with the other one there. And this is what we have. Then we cross this one with this one. And this is what we have. Then this one and the last one. And this is what we have. So what we are having here is also called genotype. But genotype for all offsprings. So if you want, you can just indicate F1, first fetal generation. First fetal generation. So F1 genotype. Then you can say F1 phenotype. How are they looking physically? How are they? Are they stunted? So here you say normal. normal. The rat is tall. Here you say normal, but you know that this normal is called homozygous because they are the same. Here it is normal and heterozygous. Here it is also normal, but heterozygous, they are mixed. Here it is stunted growth. So here it is not normal but stunted. So the rat is stunted. If you were asked to predict the chances, or the question was asking you to find the probability, the answer would have been, you count 1 out of the 4 offsprings, then you say probability 1/4. Chance you multiply by 100%. So 1/4 by 100, you are going to get 4 into 100, you get 25% for the stunted one. Yes. So this is how you are supposed to answer this question. You have to do a research. You have to research. You have to make sure that you go through. Otherwise, this is where we end for this question.